Welcome to Classic Car Cave. In this video I'm going to go on to the XK150. Now this is a 1958 XK150 open two-seater or roadster. There was three different types. There was the fixed head coupe, which is a sedan or a normal saloon car. There was a drop head coupe, and this is where the hood on the car concertina's back on the tonneau cover at the back, and then there's the roadster or the open two-seater, which is what this one is. So this has the roof on this, or the convertible roof on it. You pull the seats forward and the whole roof fits back underneath the seat, so you don't see the roof at all, and I just think it makes that line nicer. So as I said, it's a 1958, it's a very early car. It's, according to my paperwork, it's the 191st roadster they made. So it's quite early on in 58. So what I'm going to do is before I actually take you around the car, I'll start the engine up so you can hear it running. Now, not everything's in place yet, but it runs okay. The throttling has to be sorted out and quite a few other things, and obviously it's had no, we've just got the basic static timing on it. So the engine isn't running as good as it could. So there's still a lot to clean up with it, a lot to do, tune it and so on and so forth. But I'll start it so you can at least hear how it sounds. I'll have to come round to the front again when it's running because unfortunately there's no throttle pedal in the car at the moment. So I'll start it up. In fact, I'll go around that side. It's easier to start it from here. Here. As you can probably hear, this is on an automatic choke. There is no choke on this as such, it's automatic. So it is a bit high revvy when it first starts up when it's cold. As I said, there's still quite a bit to do. One of the main issues I've got with this is I'm waiting for a company, John Skinner in the UK, that's building the interior for me, the whole of the interior. And I should be able to pick it up next month. I can drive to the UK and pick it up. And that's the two seats, the hood, everything basically that goes in the car. They did my E-Type interior and they made such a good job that I wanted to use them again. So that's the reason there's a bit of a delay, because where you can see the windscreen aperture, all the the leather or the vinyl has to be tucked in behind that before you can put the windscreen in. So what I'll do now is I'll actually pull the lift up and I'll show you from back to front, and I'll show you where we are with the car. I hope you enjoy the video. As I said, this is an SE car by number, but as you can obviously see inside, it's got an S specification set up in it. So it's got the triple HD8 carburetors. It would have been twin HD6s in it, and it's got the high flow cylinder head. It's the same head that went onto the E-Type, so they were high flow. The only difference between the S specification and the SEs were the triple carbs, the high flow head, and a twin pump, twin electric fuel pump system. That was the only difference. And later they had, instead of having a 3.4, they had a 3.8. But as you can see, I have put the S badge on it, but this is because it is specification. I'm not trying to put the car off or sell it to somebody as an S spec, because it's not what it is, it's an SE. But I wanted the S specification because of the higher acceleration and power in it. But as you can see, the cars come together beautifully, and again, if you look back on, we have loads and loads of videos, you can see this tonneau cover was completely taken off. In fact, I would say possibly I don't think there was a panel on it that we haven't repaired or restored or replaced or whatever. So I would say pretty much 85% of the bodywork had to be done in some way or other. New door skins. The quarter panels are original, but they need an awful lot of work. They tend to rot along this lip line here. You can see there's rubber in there now, but they tend to rot very badly in there, so I had to put all new rubbers on them because the parts for these cars, again, excuse the dust, but I don't want to go rubbing it off just for the video because it will scratch the paint. And again, here in the boot, this was normally a single, you can see I'm just lifting it there, but it'll lift. You can see these have got 2 gas rams on it. They weren't fitted originally, they're not original. There was one big post ram that went in here, but it was massive, it was like the size of a 50p piece. It was a horrible thing. And of course, this being a wood structure, it won't be like that when it's all finished, the boot, when I get the gear from the UK. It used to make the boot tend to kind of tilt over like that. In fact, that's rubbish. I'm just looking at that paint there where it's... The more I look at the car from the paint in Hungary, the more issues I see with it. But fortunately, the main body that shows is really quite good. But there are some details inside wise that they didn't do. The attention to detail wasn't great, I have to say, I'm afraid. But you live and learn. Anyway, so by the time we've done it and cleaned it all up, and I've got a colour match for this paint anyway. So as you can see, it's it's coming on. Now on top here is the chrome top, and I think that one is sitting on, if I remember rightly. But you can see the body line. If I can shut this door, there's no latches. The latches are now with a friend of mine up in the north of Austria. Now you can't see with the door open, but you can see how straight. Maybe it's better with that one. Yeah, you can see this is the chrome top. That's only just been put in place. There's no screws in it yet. Oh, there's one there. Is that one in? No, it's not. Not in there yet. But anyway, I'll try and close that door. But without the door latches, it's not easy to keep it in line. But as you can see, the door shuts are pretty damn good. And the same here. And the vent there. Yeah, I mean, the work we put into doing this side light pod, both side light pods are brand new. The headlight pods are the originals but repaired, particularly on the front. They tend to rot. So all of that was taken off and we re-put them on again, re-welded them, and we lead loaded them. As you can see, they've come out pretty nice, the lines. Even with the dust on it, I think you can see that the quality is pretty good. So what I'll do is I'll take it up in the air and I'll show you the underneath of it. Again, these have been in other videos for people just watching. You know, as I said, I'm trying to just show that you can take a basket case, but the thing I would say to that as well is you have to look at it from an economical point of view. You know, will you end up with a vehicle by the time you put that amount of money into it that you can at least get your money back? Not your labour, but at least get your money back. And I think that's where projects have to start and stop. And you have to get to a point where you say, right, you know, if I just take the parts I put into this, not labour, because that's your own time, would I get my money back for it? And I think if the answer is no, or it's close to it, then I think you should think twice. So that is always a consideration. Anyway, I'll go off now and I'll put it up in the air and I'll take you underneath. Sure, if this garage door being open and it being a sunny day will make it worse, I can always, if it looks bad, I can always redo it. So let me show you from the back. So you can see everything is almost, well, it's not brand new, but yeah, the back, a lot of the back bottom is brand new. It's got an aluminium tank in it, gas shock absorbers. All the pistons in the brakes have been replaced. They are the original braking system, but everything's been replaced. Obviously, the wheels that are on it are just to move it around. They're not, I have to buy those yet. And you can see the twin pumps there, twin issue pumps. This is a brand spanking new chassis. I bought it when we bought the car. I bought the chassis at the same time, and in 5 or 6 years it's gone up. It's doubled in price. I think I paid $2,200 for it. It's now over $5,000. So it just shows you. Yeah, I mean, done a lot of work on it. Everything's working well now. We've got these floor pans we did, and then we put aluminium. You probably saw me doing them. I don't know if you did see them. And then they're wood, but I put aluminium under them and then did them body colour. I just think they look nicer. We've got a few things that we need to redo. Let me take this down. It's just not going to work very well, I don't think. There's a few things we've got to do where it's been caught on the ramp that they had in Hungary. A place like here, you can see it's going to be cleaned up. And there's a bit of overspray here and there, which they just didn't bother putting covers over the wheels. You can see there's a little bit of splatter and overspray, but I'll get rid of that. I won't take it off the jack because I've got this wheel off at the moment, but you can have a look from the front and you can see again, everything's been cleaned and put back. And yeah, it's got twin pot calipers on the front, not the singles that it had. And yeah, once it gets the new wheels on it, but I won't put the wheels on to the last minute. Excuse me a second, let me just turn this off. I won't put new wheels on. Now that is a new wheel, but that's from the E-Type, and we put it on because the tyre that was on it is completely offsets it. It's the wrong tyre size. So we put that one on just now because that's the spare wheel for the E-Type. But as you can see along the bottom, it's looking really good. The only metal work I've got to do now is I made some covers that fit in here, and then they screw into the side here so they completely cover that, otherwise you can get your hand up inside. But as you can see, it's in pretty good shape all the way. Did a lot of work to try and get that lower valance right. You might see the car is a little bit tilted to one side. That's because unfortunately all the tyres that I have to move it around on are all different sizes, and it's bloody weird. That one is, you can see the profile on that, the height of that tyre compared to this one, for instance. They're quite a bit different. See there? And then look at that one. So the car's a bit kind of squiffy without all the right size wheels on it. But the chrome was done up in Graz. They are the original bumpers, front and back. The only thing that are not original is the overriders, which were in a shocking state. But the problem with it is you can buy them brand new cheaper than you can get the old ones knocked out and chromed. And the chrome, and these bumpers are massive. They're super, super thick. That might give you a little bit of an indication just how thick these are. I don't know if I can show you that. But they're a couple of mil at least, if not more. And the same with the back. That might give you an idea of how big the back is. So apart from the overriders, the bumpers, the main part of the bumper is brand new, just the overriders. And then we put these rubbers in to do the seals. In fact, that one's coming out a little bit. I'll have to check that one. So a lot of snagging to do with these kind of cars. They're not something you can just put on the road. And what I'll do now is I'll show you some photographs and some backstory from a guy I know in America called David, strangely enough. And I'll show you his story as well, but it'll only be in photographs, but it'll give you an idea and just how long it took him to do this. These are not, you know, the odd weekend hobby type thing, otherwise they take years and years. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. When it's finished up, obviously I'll be doing a big video on it, and hopefully we can take her out for a run and you can see how she goes. So I hope you enjoy the next bit. So this is David, a chap that lives in America. This is his XK when he first got it in 1999, and as you can see, it is in a pretty poor state. Even mine wasn't as bad as this. So over a period of 24 years, having other Jaguars, he eventually got to this point. You can see he's got all new pods on there. Obviously his work and family and everything have come into it, but you can see there's a couple of E-Types as well there. He's done all the different stuff on the car, and as you can see, it's just got better and better. Obviously, he's put it away for some years as family things have come on, but look at the condition of this car. As you can see, it's got the heater on the outside, which mine doesn't. the same wiring system, and obviously that looks like Old English white to me. So beautiful job. Pumpkin orange cylinder head. Yeah, done an absolutely superb job on this car. That's that Cotswold blue, I believe, inside. But absolutely superb. And when you see this last shot, you'll see exactly what I mean. It looks absolutely stunning. I mean, look at that. Isn't that a beautiful restoration? It's a real credit to you, David. Thank you so much for sending the photographs. I really appreciate it.